Imagine this.
You wake up tomorrow. You check your wallet. All the cash is still there. You open your banking app. Same numbers. Maybe even a little higher. But somehow, you can buy less food, less fuel, less life than you could last year. Someone took money from you without touching your wallet. No robber, no hacker, no masked thief in a dark alley. And here's the creepy part. Most people actually thank the system that's doing it. They work harder. They save more. They cheer when they get a raise. But groceries sting more. Rent bites harder. Dreams quietly shrink. This is not bad luck. This is not because you're bad with money. This is the inflation trap. And once you see it, you will never look at money the same way again. Today, we're going to expose how your money is quietly stolen, without a single coin leaving your pocket. Let's start with a feeling you know. You open your banking app. You see your balance. You think, okay, not bad. I'm doing all right. Then you go to the supermarket. 10 minutes later, after you've paid, you walk out with one sad little bag and a receipt that looks like a phone number, and you think, wait, where did my money go? That confusion is not random. It's not because you're bad at adulting. It's because inflation doesn't steal loudly, it steals quietly. No pop-up says, "Hi, we just reduced your purchasing power by 8%. Have a great day." Instead, prices slide up slowly. A little here, a little there. So slowly, your brain adjusts. Psychologists call this money illusion. Your brain sees numbers, but your life feels value. Last year, you earned $1,000 a month. This year, you earn $1,050. You feel richer. But last year, groceries cost $200. Now the same groceries cost $250. Your pay went up 5%. Your cost of living went up 25%. On paper, you look richer. In real life, you're tighter than before. That gap, that's the trap. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Humans are terrible at noticing slow danger. We panic when a stock crashes in one day, a bank shuts down overnight, a headline screams, "Crisis!" Those things are fast and loud. Our brains are built for that. But inflation? Inflation is a slow leak. It's like a tire losing a tiny bit of air every day. At first you don't notice. The car still moves. You keep driving. Then one morning, you're on the side of the road with a flat, asking, how did this happen? There's a story people use, the boiling frog. Drop a frog into boiling water, it jumps out. Put it in cold water and slowly turn up the heat. It doesn't notice, until it's too late. Don't try that at home. But the idea is simple. Slow danger is invisible, until it suddenly isn't. Inflation is our economic boiling water. People say, things aren't that expensive. It's just a few cents more. It's just how life is. Until one day, that few cents becomes, I can't afford a home. I can't start a family yet. I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. By the time most people feel the heat, they've been boiling for years. Now the big question, where does inflation actually come from? To see that, we need to talk about what money is today. Your grandparents' money was more tied to real things like gold. Today's money is mostly tied to debt, promises, and keyboards. Governments spend on roads, schools, wars, bailouts. Sometimes taxes cover it. Often, they don't. So they borrow. They create IOUs called bonds. Banks and investors buy those bonds. Then, when it gets heavy, the central bank steps in. Here comes the keyboard. The central bank buys those bonds from banks and pays with new money it creates on a screen. No gold truck, no treasure chest, just numbers going from 0 to billions. That new money flows first to big banks, big corporations, financial markets. Not to you. By the time it reaches your paycheck, prices have already moved. Imagine a town with 100 pizzas and $100. Each pizza is $1. The government prints another $100 to build a stadium. The banker gets that money first. He buys pizzas while they're still $1. The shop is crowded. Owner raises price to $2. Later, you finally see some of that new money. You walk in. Same pizza, now $2. Nothing about the pizza improved, but your money buys less. That's part of the Cantillon effect. Early receivers of new money win. Late receivers lose. And regular workers? They're always late. Now the lie most of us grew up with. If you work hard and save money, you'll be fine. That made sense when money was harder to create and prices were more stable. But in a world of constant money printing, just save cash is like saying, store your ice cubes on the kitchen table. They'll be fine. The ice doesn't vanish instantly. It melts, slowly. That's your savings in an inflation system. You work hard, skip vacations, make coffee at home. Feel proud as your savings balance grows. Meanwhile, the system is turning up the heat. Your balance goes up, but what it can buy goes down. And the worst part? You blame yourself. I must be bad with money. I should budget better. Maybe I need a second job. But you're playing a game where the rules change mid-game. Imagine Monopoly, and every few turns, the banker secretly adds money to one player's pile. Is everyone else broke because they're lazy, or because the game is rigged? We were given rules from an old game and thrown into a new one.
So what does this do to real life?
First, people delay life. Young couples want kids, but rent, food, and daycare explode. They say, one more year, again and again. Second, people stop taking smart risks, starting a business, studying more, moving cities. All need a safety cushion. When everything is expensive and savings melt, people cling to jobs they hate because they feel safe. Third, people lose hope slowly. Buying a home is impossible. I'll work till I die. What's the point of saving? Inflation doesn't hit everyone equally. It rewards borrowers, asset owners, big institutions, and punishes savers, workers, and pensioners. Inequality grows, not because one side suddenly worked 10 times harder, but because the rules quietly changed.
Here's the uncomfortable part.
Inflation isn't always a bug. Sometimes it's a feature. First, it shrinks government debt. If a government owes $1 trillion and inflation cuts the currency's value in half, they still owe $1 trillion on paper. But in real terms, they pay back much less. Who paid the difference? Everyone holding that currency. Second, it pushes people to spend. If your money loses value every year, saving feels pointless. You spend more, borrow more, chase more. Third, it keeps people working. With higher living costs, you can't retire early, can't take long breaks. You keep grinding. For governments and big borrowers, inflation often feels like a magic eraser. For everyone else, it feels like sandpaper.
Think about school.
We learn algebra, history, biology, all useful. But almost no one explains how money is created, how inflation works, how purchasing power dies. Why? Partly because teachers were never taught either, but also because people who understand the system ask annoying questions. Why are we okay with our money losing value? Who benefits when new money is created? Why are we told to save in something that melts? Big systems don't love too many questions, so we get a simple script. Get good grades, get a job, save money, trust the system. No mention that your savings are sitting in a slow microwave.
So what can you actually do?
This isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about not moving backward every year. First mindset shift. Money is not something you just store. Money is something you position. People who survive inflation usually own productive assets, invest in skills, use debt carefully, and think long-term. They don't rely on a 2% savings account when inflation is 8%. They look for things that grow with or faster than inflation or produce cash flow. That could be pieces of businesses, shares in property, or skills that let you charge more. This isn't magic. It's just refusing to let your money sit there and melt.
If inflation is heat, you need a freezer.
A freezer is anything that holds value, grows with inflation, or produces cash flow. There's no perfect freezer. Everything has risk. But the goal is simple. Move from melting cash to things that survive the heat better than cash. The exact path is different for everyone. But the first step is the same. Stop pretending the kitchen isn't hot. Inflation is not random. It's a quiet system, a silent tax on people who don't see it. Now, you see it, and that already puts you ahead. If this changed how you look at money, you belong here. Subscribe to Financial Exposed, because the world will keep printing money, they will keep turning up the heat. And here, we learn how to protect ourselves from the melt.